Hey, what's up, y'all? This your boy Forever Foreign. Back at you again with another video, man. Once again, I don't do this YouTube shit for money. I just do it to share my experiences with my brothers and sisters in regards to not just moving to Africa, but I'm pretty sure you're gonna have to face a lot of these in different other parts of the world too. But it doesn't bother me because I knew what I was getting into when I chose this country. So, with that being said, here we go. This video is titled The Pros and Cons of Having Property or Renting Property in Ethiopia. I would say majority of Africa, but I've only been to a few countries. I'm just gonna share my experiences. So the pros is I pay for my place I think it's $95 monthly. If I wanted to pay yearly, it would be, I believe, $2,300 for rent. And in California, where I live, that's pretty much the standard when it comes to rent. It's $2,300. So it's a really big, significant gap when you talk about rent and things like that. Now, once you start buying property, it's kind of the same concept. They don't really go off of credit in my experiences. But you can't go to the bank and work business deals with them for them to give you, the funds to purchase something. You're just gonna have to put a down payment, down, which I wanna say it may be a little bit less, but then it actually, maybe it's a slight difference, but they're just gonna charge you in their currency. It may average out to be the same, but it depends on the property, where it is, shit like that. So my electricity bill, I would say, is probably $15 a month. But in my wife's currency, it's I think like 2,000. But when you translate it into US dollars, it's like $10 to $15. Wi-Fi is about the same. The negatives, man, I don't know. I'm just throwing this out there for the people that may look at this as a negative. Like I said, I have been through it multiple times. It doesn't really bother me. I think in a lot of parts of Africa, if not all, the lights tend to stay out. Now I've had 3 apartments in Ethiopia. Two of the owners I didn't like. I was gonna buy from one of them and he decided to change his mind. I think it was because of jealousy, but whatever, bro. I don't think he wanted us to have it. But anyway, it's cool. But one thing that I noticed, you're gonna have outages, like power outages where the lights go off. So make sure you stock up on some candles with batteries or something. How long they stay out, I believe that determines what part of the country you're in. Just like in Ethiopia, if you're in the rural areas, like I've stayed in parts where it was a farm area, the lights tend to stay out longer over there. But if you're in the city, like I'm in, where I have my wife and my daughter at Addis Ababa, the lights tend not to, they may stay out for a few hours, but typically they'll come back on before the day is over. It may come on at night, but it'll come back, soon. Another thing is they cut off water. You don't have water 100% of the time. So what my wife has to do, they have these big barrels and they come by with a hose and they fill these barrels. So when the water comes off, if you have to use the restroom, if your toilet isn't flushing sometimes, which 9 times out of 10, it does flush without the water sometimes. But if it runs out of water, you gotta pour water in the toilet. And sometimes when you use the restroom, you have to get buckets to basically pour the water in the toilet after you use the restroom for it to go down. And the same thing goes for when it's time to shower. If the water isn't working through the shower, you typically basically have to boil the water, put it in the bucket, and take a shower that way. Like I said, this is what I was, I already knew about this. I done it all. It doesn't affect me. You know what I mean? I'm just giving you guys some clarity. If you're trying to, move or even visit, you may have to deal with these things. I've come across a lot of content creators that really talk shit about it, and some of them have moved not just to Ethiopia, but different parts of Africa that has this problem. And they be talking shit about it, talking about, we're tired of this, we want to move back to America, blah, blah, blah. And I just feel so disrespected because it's like, they took a lot from Africa, every single country, man. So what they're going through over there, it's not because of them. So don't talk shit about the country. If you don't like it, leave. But those people live through that every day. And I'm humbled to even be able to go over there and experience that. So it doesn't matter if you have $1 million, if you got $5,000, bro, you're gonna lose power pretty much the same as everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Another thing that's pretty good about it that I like, the security guards, at least from my experience in my apartment that I currently have, they live on site. I think different properties are different, but a lot of them live on site. And my wife lives, I think, on the 8th, 9th floor, and they have they after a certain time, they lock the bottom entryway. And then I think each unit, which you gotta go up each stairs. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4. I believe this unit has, each unit has a door where they lock it. So not only is it outside shut and locked, each part has its own door where they lock it and secure it. And then, if you gotta go in and go out, you gotta knock on the door for the security guard to let you out and back in and things like that. So, but it just depends on what part of Africa and what part of the city you live in, because that determines how frequently you're gonna deal with these issues. So, if does it get better? Will it get better? I don't know. And from another experience, there's no central heat or air. Central heat or central air. From what I've seen, even when I was renting on Airbnb, I didn't see central air and central heat units. I guess it's an Ethiopian thing. I don't know, but that's from my experience. If anybody has stayed in a place where they have central air and central heat, let me know in the comments. But from my experiences, I haven't dealt with it. So, and the furniture's different because it's a different part of the world. I have not been with my wife when she picked things out. I just sent the money and she went out. The couch that we previously got, that's in one of my pictures in the thumbnail. I don't really like it. She bought that when she was pregnant. She was trying to get back home so she wouldn't vomit continuously like she was doing. We're looking to sell that. I'm getting ready to get a TV to put on the wall. We have a balcony. It's a nice place, man. But like I said, these are things that you're gonna deal with, man. And you just have to be willing to accept it, When you're traveling in different parts of the world, man, you gotta be respectful, and you gotta know not everybody is like America, but it's still good in it, just like it's good and bad in America. It's good and bad in the rest of the world. You just gotta choose to smile when you go through them bad times. When you have power, we have fun. When the power goes out, we tell stories, or we watch shit on the phone, or we just have fun, bro. Either way, the lights on or off, whatever. We're gonna do what we do as a family and as a unit. So if y'all got any questions, man, tap in the comments, bro, and I'll do my best to answer them. I'm not out here for make money or anything, bro. I'm just here to share my experiences as I always discuss with y'all. So forever foreign, I'm out. Peace.